Here we go, Lock Nation, baby. It's time to dig into this bracket breakdown. I'm here with the man, the myth, Johnny Lloyd in the building. Johnny, how we feeling, buddy?
Feeling good. March Madness is upon us. We got Taco Tuesday starting up tomorrow with Virginia versus Colorado State, and just ready to go.
What more could you ask for? And we were just talking a second ago. We were like, yeah, we just saw Virginia, the reaction they had when they saw they were having a chance at the tournament there. I mean, a lot of excitement to score, like 43 points in, in a must-win matchup. What are we thinking?
I mean, I'm thinking, that's a little bonus. Sprinkle it in, a little bonus before you get to Thursday and Friday. I mean, I have no problem with
All right.
that. I feel like Tony Bennett owns Dayton. I think he's going to go there. They're going to get 2.5 versus Colorado State, and I think it's free money. If you want to have a little bit extra play money on Thursday, there's no reason not to sprinkle them. Don't watch it though; it's going to be ugly.
Fall asleep at halftime, that kind of thing.
I think the winner of that game probably stuns Texas.
I mean, I think Texas stinks. I wouldn't be surprised. That team's terrible. All right, so obviously it's Monday, the day after the bracket reveal. We were blessed with the bracket reveal yesterday. No Greg Gumbel, though. That kind of hurt me a little bit. That was not the same experience, I don't think. I couldn't believe, was he sick or something? Did you see that?
I didn't see that. I was actually dialed in a little bit of some golf prop betting I had in there, but I did catch the second half when I saw Providence was, Kim English is crying like the whole world's rigged. And I saw it looked like Rick Pitino. Like I would not have wanted to been on his hit list last night. I'm sure not good. They both immediately withdrew from the NIT, which I love. I think the NIT it stinks. So I'm glad that every team pretty much opted out that could.
Yeah, I would have hated to be a clipboard within reaching distance of Rick Pitino yesterday. Let me tell you, I can't imagine too many of those have lived to see Monday morning here. But was there any surprises for you that you were like really shocked with? Team not making it, team getting overseeded. What took you by surprise?
I mean, overseeded for sure. I don't think Clemson's a 6 seed.
No.
If you've watched any tape recently, Florida Atlantic is a very overseeded 8 seed. And the other one that really caught me by surprise is, New Mexico is a dangerous 11 seed. So that 11-6 matchup probably could have been flip-flopped with the way that New Mexico played down the stretch, especially with how high it looks like the Mountain West Conference was in the committee's eyes, right? Like they got 6 teams in, I believe, which is insane, especially since the Big East did they get 2? Did they get 3?
I think it was 2. Was it 2? Yeah, the Big East. I think the Big East was trash all year. So I'm not even.
No, they got Creighton, Marquette, and UConn.
Yeah, Creighton, Marquette, UConn. Yeah,
they had a couple bubble teams for sure.
The rest of it, though, realistically, like, what were these teams gonna do? Come on, what's the point here? You got to cut it somewhere, but I do agree. Some of the stuff was a little off the wall that I seen. I was surprised with. What's up with this play-in to get the 10 seed? Is that the first time that they've done that? I've never seen that before.
It's usually 2 11 seeds. That's what it's been in the past.
Yeah,
they made it 10 seeds this year. I'm not sure.
Yeah, UVA, Colorado State.
What the importance is of that.
What were we just talking about? I've never seen that, so that's weird. That's a first for me. All right, so let's. You ready to dive into the bracket a bit? You got your eye on it right now.
I do. I have it dialed in, man. You want to start with the East?
Yeah, let's start over here at the East. So we're going to start with UConn Stetson. What would have to happen for you to see a Stetson upset here? What do you think has to happen?
Miracle. I think a plane crash is on the way there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think they could get like 8 or 9 players that just get like COVID and they'd still win, I think, by 15. So
I think they would just cancel the game and give UConn the win.
Yeah, they would just make it safer for everybody else involved. Nobody else needs to get COVID. Let's just save the 2.5 hours there. So yeah, we're obviously have UConn going through there against Stetson. FAU Northwestern. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. I think pre-call here, you were talking to me a little bit about Northwestern, a little boo-booey 40 piece. What are we thinking here?
I'm thinking that Darren Rovell's a big fan of Northwestern. We're not a fan of Darren Rovell by any means, so we're going to pick Northwestern and hope we reverse jinx them.
Yeah,
I do think in seriousness, I think Northwestern's going to win that game.
Do you know what scares me though, dude? Like whenever everybody's just like saying like they're just chalking in Northwestern. Everybody I've seen has put Northwestern there. Like FAU, Final Four team last year, people are just throwing them out round one. And the crazy thing is Northwestern. I mean, they got a couple injuries. If they didn't have a couple of these injuries, that team could have been a 3 seed, dude. That team they were loaded. They lost a couple guys. That Perry kid was good. They just lost the center. I mean, you add those two to this team. I think. That could have been a dangerous team, but I'll go with you there on Northwestern. I could see, Boo Boo is probably the best player on the court by far. So I think in March that matters a lot. If if you've ever watched March Madness, just having that one go-to guy is so important. So I think we're good with Northwestern there. San Diego State UAB. What do you think about the Blazers in this situation?
Man, dude, I watched San Diego State play New Mexico in the Mountain West Championship game, and I will say it was a war. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was a great game. It didn't even make me hate them. I love South. I love San Diego State's coach. And I don't know that much about UAB personally. I saw I had bet Temple versus them.
Yeah.
And UAB did win that game, but it was ugly. I think San Diego State's got a lot of experience from last year. I think that they'll have enough to get by UAB. I don't think they're Final Four caliber by any means, but I think that they're UAB caliber.
Yeah. One of these teams is winning for sure. FAU or San Diego State. I mean, we got to go San Diego State here. I mean, just you're not getting 2 Final Four teams out in the first round. That would be just crazy to me. I mean, that's insane. Before we carry on here though, what do you think about this side of the bracket overall? UConn. I feel like they got 3 conference tourney winners. They got 2 or 3 Final Four teams, including themselves, in the same bracket from last year. What do you think? You kind of got the shaft here a little bit, or what?
That's what I'm hearing. I mean, all over some of the other networks today, they were talking about this being a very tough region. Especially, they're saying that Iowa State was teetering with like a 1 seed, and then they got the 8 seed technically, right?
Yeah.
I don't see it that way though. Personally, that's what people are saying. I actually think that the left side of the bracket, so the East and West, are pretty favorable for UConn and North Carolina. I think the Midwest bracket is probably the hardest one that I've saw.
Okay. Yeah, of course. The bracket where 3 of my teams are. And we'll get into that later. But, yeah, I just think to me, I mean, I feel like there is some substance to it, though. I mean, this is not an easy bracket by any means. Like, you got some good teams here, and they're not going to be easy games by any means. A lot of these teams lack offense, though. That's what I will say. I mean, even the teams like Iowa State, they're flirting with 1 seed, but I'm not sold on that team. Their offense is nowhere. And you got San Diego State. They couldn't hit water if they're in the middle of the ocean. I mean, good Lord. They do play great defense, though. Yeah, defense. That's what I'm saying.
That whole defense. You figure UConn, San Diego State, Auburn plays pretty good defense from the SEC.
Yeah.
Iowa State. You know what I mean? The best offensive team is probably the Jackrabbits. South Dakota.
Yeah, I would definitely say Illinois is the best offense there. But there's not many offenses though. Next matchup, I know it seems chalky, but I'm definitely going Auburn here. I like Auburn to make a run this year. I think they got a pretty good balanced team. This game's tough for me. BYU, Duquesne. What are we looking at here?
I like BYU here. I know it's chalky. I watched Duquesne a few times. They played pretty good in the Big East Championship. I just think it's hard to win upsets with just defense.
Yeah.
So, they're a very defensive team. I think that it's hard to beat a team like BYU with just straight defense. I know they've obviously won a lot of games in the A-10 tournament or whatnot, but I'm not that scared of Duquesne, no.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I honestly, personally, have not seen much of Duquesne myself, so I'm not even going to try and comment too much there, but BYU, I think they win one, then they're gonna be back in church by Sunday.
Well, we would have had a little change in my pick possibly if Duquesne didn't win on Sunday, because I had VCU.
Okay,
I'm a VCU guy.
Yeah, you were right there.
Havoc defense. Where Shaka Smart was built, where he was born from. Nobody. VCU pretty much birthed them. Yeah, I'm probably taking VCU over BYU. Just no sight unseen. But since Duquesne had to thump VCU on Sunday, I gotta fade them.
All right. Well, hey, this is the situation we're in. We got Duquesne, so we got Duquesne packing their bags Thursday afternoon. When do they play? Yeah, they play Thursday at 12:40. Yeah, at 3:00 they're on the plane. Illinois. I like Illinois this year, so that's an easy one for me. Morehead State, haven't watched them, don't need to watch them. They got too many mismatches on offense to lose to a team like that. I mean, Hawkins, for his size, can move. Terrence Shannon, I think, is the most NBA ready player. He's the most NBA ready player, I think. Him and Connect are 1 and 2 as far as like if they could contribute to an NBA team. Those are the guys tomorrow. I mean, they might even get the Pistons a few wins. You sign them. As soon as they're done the tournament, just get them on the roster, sell some tickets for Christ's sake. All right, so I'm good on Illinois there. I'm gonna take Drake here. I Washington State. I mean, of course, I was on the wrong end of the one home game Arizona lost all year when Washington State went in there and Arizona's up by 3, and then they hit a 4-point play with 20 seconds to go. So that was a fun one. I just needed them to win for a parlay. So. Washington State, I wasn't impressed, man. I had watched them recently, watched them in that game. I just felt like they were just getting a lot of lucky shot making in that game, and not impressed. What do you think? Have you watched much of them?
I watched a few games. Don't see a ton of the Pac-12 just because time difference with the East Coast, and also like they're just not a very talented conference to want to tune in and watch Washington State versus Washington, or Utah's been down this year too. So like the Pac-12 is pretty awful.
Okay, yeah, I definitely.
That game's a coin flip. I mean, it's a typical 7-10 matchup. I think you could find a reason to pick either team.
Yeah.
Obviously, like if you were going to fade Drake, you'd say like the Mountain. The NBC conference was awful this year. So like, I mean, you could pick Drake and feel fine with it, but I don't think that there's much to go on off of flipping a coin and praying.
Yeah, well, in this situation, we've been a little chalky so far. I think we need to go, the other way on this one just to give ourselves a little bit of, because it never works out where it's all chalk. So I'm good with Drake there. Iowa State here, they're not losing to, it's just not happening.
Vegas likes Drake too. They got this. It opened up Washington State -1, and it's already swung to Drake -1.5. So
yeah,
28 points already on that game.
What's that telling you? Yeah, so I think definitely I'm comfortable with that. What do you want to do? You want to go back up the east, or you want to slide down here and then keep going to the same column here? What do you want to do? We'll go down.
Let's go to the Final Four with the East.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, cool. All right, so UConn, Northwestern. With Northwestern, if they had their full roster, honestly, they wouldn't have been a 9 seed, but I think that they would give UConn a pretty good game there. Definitely, I got to go UConn there. I'm taking Auburn over San Diego State 100 times out of 10. How about you?
Yeah, no, I'm cool with both those. Let's jump to the bottom of the bracket.
All right, BYU, Illinois. I'm definitely riding Illinois there. And then, Drake's fun ends there.
We're going chalky. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4
it's disgusting. I hate it. It's going to be the only bracket where I think I'm really going to be doing this. But I personally am taking Auburn over UConn. I know you're not going to be in the same boat as me, but my bracket.
Man, no way.
Bracket will.
I got UConn losing in the championship, so I'm fast forward and all the way.
Well, all right. Well, we'll do visually. We'll do mine here. I like Auburn. I think they're a good team. I think they're due to actually like make an appearance pretty deep here. I know they've had a couple close runs recently, and they've gotten some bad breaks. I think they're gonna get lucky. Get a little luck on their side. I'm not picking UConn. My whole thing is like, dude, a team to win back-to-back, you got to be. I think the Big East was down this year. I think UConn, too many cocky sons of bitches on that team. I can't root for that slop. I really can't. Then I'm taking Illinois.
I saw Bruce Pearl, though, crying after winning the SEC championship. Like, it reminded me of Nick Sirianni crying in the Super Bowl, and it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, hey, listen, man, I like emotion. As long as it's taken in the right context, you know what I mean? Like, I need, like, the happy emotions, happy tears with me. Like people get on Caleb Williams, in the quarterback for crying after his. I don't care about that. It just means you care about the sport. So like I kind of like seeing that sometimes. So I'm good with that. Then I have Auburn, Illinois personally in the Elite Eight matchup here. I personally will be taking Auburn in that. I have Auburn coming out of the East. I know you're UConn, right? Obviously, like you said, coming to the championship.
Yeah, I'm UConn through and through. So I got them in the Final Four, chalky. So. Not going to win any brownie points there. Everyone in the world is going to have UConn. So if Auburn does make it out, the bracket's looking good.
Did you have Illinois, Iowa State down here at the bottom two, Sweet 16 matchup?
I did. I had Illinois coming out. Though.
Okay, so we agree on that.
I can see your side of the bracket.
Okay, yeah, we agree on that. All right, cool. So I have Auburn, Illinois. You have UConn, Illinois, and obviously UConn taking down Illinois in the Elite Eight matchup. I have Auburn taking down Illinois in the Elite Eight matchup myself. All right, so let's go down to the West. So this is a bracket where I really don't like many of these teams at all. To be perfectly honest with you, I wish my team was the 1 seed here. I'll get into that later, but Yeah. So I mean, obviously North Carolina game one. Howard/Wagner. I mean, sounds like two dog names. I can't, get on board with the 16-1 upset, and that's gonna get ugly, I think. All right, so this is a game here. This first game of the tournament, Thursday, 12:15 p.m. We got Mississippi State versus Sparty Nation. You think Izzo gets these boys up for this game? What are we thinking?
I do. I mean, I've heard a lot of people saying that Michigan State shouldn't have been a 9 seed, and I do agree. And I honestly think that Mississippi State might be the better team here on paper, but I mean, Izzo Magic,
Izzo in March, yeah.
CBS is putting them in that first game for a reason. You know what I mean? I don't think that CBS is putting them at 12-15 unless they think there's a little Izzo Magic.
And it ain't for Mississippi State, I'll tell you that. They're not putting them there at 12-15 for Mississippi State. It's just you got to go Michigan State there. You just got to. St. Mary's, Grand Canyon. I see. Here's another team. St. Mary's has an injury that one of their great players got injured earlier in the year. I think they'd have been a lot better with them. One of the few guys was actually athletic. So I'm gonna go 12/5 here. I'm gonna go Grand Canyon. I think you're on board with me on that one too.
100%. I am all over Grand Canyon. I saw that windmill dunk to end the game basically when it was already over, and that was enough for me to be like, you know what? That's a team St. Mary's does not want to play. And I did see a video of like the St. Mary's reveal party thing. They didn't look excited. It was one of those things, but it doesn't always work out the way you'd expect it to. I know Michigan was not very happy to see Alabama in the college football playoff, and we saw Michigan ended up winning that game. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but St. Mary's didn't look happy to play Grand Canyon, and Grand Canyon just off that one dunk alone looked athletic.
We got a little, Dunk City too, Florida Gulf Coast, little bringing back to life here. What, a little reincarnation action, Grand Canyon, Dunk City?
I don't know. I didn't see the bench doing little wheelchair emojis or something.
All right,
but it could be Grand Canyon. I mean, I'm also hearing rumors that a lot of people are liking Charleston. Not saying I am, but I'm saying.
Dude, that's crazy talk. I mean, you got to go. Alabama, I know their defense is horrific, but I mean, come on, they're going to
so good offensively, but
they're going to score. They're going to score enough to beat Charleston.
Games, only 9.5 points in Vegas is. It's just telling you it's going to be closer than you think.
No, I could definitely see a scenario where it's close. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't trust Alabama, for anything. But in that situation, I think they're going to score enough points. That team, I mean, come on. Their defense is just, oh, my God. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen. But they can score points. I think they're going to score enough there. I definitely wouldn't take -9.5, I'll tell you that. I think it definitely could be close. Couple possession game, come down to some free throws at the end. But I think Alabama will get it done. Clemson, New Mexico. So this is what we were talking about beforehand. So this is odd, man. What do we got? What's the line up to there? Man, New Mexico was minus 2.5 last time we checked?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I don't like about this game. Like I said, I did watch the New Mexico-San Diego State game. New Mexico took it to San Diego State, and they didn't even shoot the ball that well. And the announcers kept saying it, like, oh, these shots are going to start falling for New Mexico. And I was like, man, they actually are better than this normally?
Yeah.
I just do not like that they're favored. I'm going to go with New Mexico here to Lobos because they did look so dangerous in that tournament. And Clemson's kind of hit a wall, kind of like what Wisconsin did, but Wisconsin started to bank off the wall here in the conference tournaments. We can get to that later.
I told you Wisconsin's not bad. You didn't believe me. They're not bad.
Yeah, they did. They bounced back, but I don't know if Clemson's bouncing back. New Mexico looked like they look like they were the real deal.
I'm on the Lobos here, man. Let me tell you one thing. I mean, I've been betting, Vegas, read the line. I mean, Clemson could win, obviously. They're a 6 seed, but I'm reading the line here. I'm taking New Mexico. Whole world, I mean, for anybody who's a new bettor and they see a 6 and 11 plus 2.5, they're going to take that.
Exactly, yeah.
But at the same time, though, I feel like
the Lobos are laying 2 and a hook.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, I feel like it's almost like a lot of people are talking about New Mexico too. So it's kind of like, is this like a cute upset pick where Clemson wins by 37? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. This is a tough game. I'm not betting the game. I hate it. I mean,
I'm betting it. Have to.
You're on Lobo. You're laying the chalk. I mean, listen, man, read the line. It's probably not a bad bet. Baylor Colgate. Why does Colgate scare me every year? Like, there's something about this team. I don't know, but like I haven't seen much of Baylor. I just think there's too much.
Scott Drew is good.
Class.
He's
a good coach.
In March, they don't choke in March.
Yeah, they're not losing. They're
not losing to Colgate. I think Colgate the last year, if I believe so, they had some dudes.
They were competitive last year,
but they're a cute team. They're going to keep it close. and lose.
Let me tell you one thing. So this next matchup here, Dayton, Nevada, this might be one of my biggest bets of the weekend.
Ooh,
I am on Nevada
big bet
heavy.
alert. Big bet alert.
Dayton stinks. They got that one. They got two good players, 1.5 good players. One guy's name's Elvis. The other guy, what's his name? The forward. Darrell.
I don't know, but
Darrell
I'm
Holmes.
on the Wolfpack as well, though.
Darrell Holmes. Yeah, I'm on Wolfpack. They got two great guards who can shoot the lights out of the ball. Great free throw shooters. That is not a team I think anybody's going to want to see. I might even have them taking down Zona, dude.
Wow.
I might even give for Nevada a run here. I like that team. I bet. I had versus Colorado State. I had Colorado State at home a couple weeks ago. It was the game where the guy hit like the 3/4 court like three at the end. And they were missing one of their good guards, and that was a must-win game for Colorado State. Nevada came in there without one of their best players, and they took it to that team. And I like you said before the stream, like you bet, you lose, but you lose your money, but you learn about a little information. Sometimes you got to pay for it. I learned my information there. The intel is worth it for me. That's Nevada over Dayton. That's my intel right there. I like that.
I'm all over it. I like the Wolfpack.
Yeah,
I mean the Wolfpack as well.
Okay, cool. All right, so North Carolina, Michigan State. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think it is. What do you think? Can Michigan State?
You think AJ Hoggard's going to keep it close? I don't know. I think UNC has some weapons. I don't even know if Michigan State's going to get by Mississippi State, so I hate penciling in a team like that.
I know, it's tough.
Jump 2 spots because I think that, both the M states are a coin flip. So, I mean, I'm siding with UNC, but, I think they're going to beat AJ Hoggard and the boys. Izzo's Magic's going to run out, but it could be closer than people would think, though.
Oh, should I do it?
What are you going Michigan State? I can't see the bracket on your side.
I don't have it all filled out. I'm going through it live right now, and I'm at like the part where like I'm like this is tough to me because I'm not 100% sold on North Carolina. Like obviously like they have a couple. RJ Davis is good. Baycott's a good player. Michigan State weaknesses though, like they have like nothing really down low defensively. That's what scares me with Baycott, but at the same time like.
Fun fact: the books think if any one seed doesn't make it to the Sweet 16, it's North Carolina. They're minus 190, which is pretty telling. You think obviously they're going to beat Howard or Wagner, so they're only technically 190 versus whoever they play there.
I'm doing
That's pretty telling. All the other teams were at least about minus 400 or more.
I'm doing it. I'm taking Sparty Nation. I'm doing it.
Sparty.
I don't care. I don't love North Carolina. I mean, Michigan State I've watched. They struggle offensively for stretches of games, but they play really good defense. And I feel like if they just start making some shots, they're going to be a tough out for anybody. Yeah, I don't care. I got to get this one seed out of here. I got to get one of them out early, and it's going to be.
Yeah, but what you're going to hear now is you're going to have. Cowbells are going to be ringing hard by 12:30. Michigan State's going to be down 21-7.
Yeah, I mean at that point,
Mississippi State and brackets toast.
Yeah, I might just call my cable company up and just tell them to cancel cable. I don't need to watch anything else. I'm tapping out early.
TV out of here, dude.
Yeah. All right, well, this is just a hypothetical bracket. I mean, we'll see when it comes down to it. What do you think that line would be? Michigan State, North Carolina, 6?
No, probably 8.5.
Higher, 7, 7.5.
Yeah, probably something like that.
I don't know, man. I feel like just being on the neutral. That game I think is actually played in Raleigh. I think that's going to be near North Carolina.
Oh, it's in Charlotte.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for.
So it's a home game for North Carolina for sure.
Yeah, they're going to have all the pressure on it. Michigan State large. I think they roll. I'm just kidding. It'll be a good game. We'll see. I'm going to put Michigan State for the bracket though. We'll see. All right, so Grand Canyon, Bama. Are we? Does the shoe fit for Grand Canyon here? What are we doing?
I think it might do. I think Grand Canyon's averaging 80 points per game. That's right up Alabama's alley. I know, but maybe that's too similar of an offense, right? Maybe we kind of wanted like a team that's like St. Peter's where they only score 62 points a game and they make it ugly.
What is Grand Canyon ranked defensively? This is intriguing to me. Here they go right here. They are adjusted defense. They are a 51. And
that's pretty high, right?
Yeah, well, Alabama is a 103. So let's ride. Let's get a little nuts here. I'm throwing Grand Canyon in over Bama.
And I don't even think that's going insanely crazy though. Like I literally think Grand Canyon could do this to them.
Dude, trust me. I mean, like I said, I'm not trusting Bama, but I mean, I trust them over Charleston. But against a team with a pulse here, I don't. Bama.
I don't know, but unless Nick Saban runs out of the tunnel, I like her.
You never know. He's got some free time these days. He might just be out of there, coming out one of those like Viking horns, leading the boys onto the court. We'll see how that goes. There it is. There we got a 9 versus 12 in the Elite Eight. That'll be fun to get back to here in a second. New Mexico Lobos versus the Baylor Bears. Should we get absolutely?
We gotta go Baylor. Go a little chalky.
Yeah.
You can't have a combined like 200 going into the Sweet 16.
Okay, yeah, no, I could see it. All right, then Nevada, Arizona. Christ, this bracket's nuts, dude. I could see anything happen in this bracket. This is one of those brackets where I could see anything happening. Literally, Nevada, Arizona is there a path for the Wolfpack? Is there a path?
There is a path for sure. You know what I mean? In Salt Lake City, I think there's a path. I think we got to take a lower seed eventually. It's not going to be like last year where you have the Final Four combining for 50.
The only thing that scares me with doing all this, though, I feel like, what if the NCAA just wants that R.J. Davis, Caleb Love matchup in the Final Four here, or the Elite Eight? What would it be?
Yeah, I mean, you figure they're already kind of in the Midwest bracket that they're already lining up Texas versus Tennessee.
All right, well, I'm gonna get nuts. I'm gonna have Michigan State going again, and I'm gonna have Arizona over Baylor. And what do you think?
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
All right, so basically, if North Carolina takes out Michigan State, my brackets is not in good shape here. All right, so let me put my Auburn in here, and then I'm gonna take Arizona or Michigan State. I can't put myself. I can't put the Michigan State that far. I mean, that seems a little.
Nah, man, it'd be interesting to see if Michigan State won 3 consecutive games all season. Would be like an interesting fact.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't love Arizona either. So I mean, that bracket was tough for me. I could see anything happening. With the way I put it here, it'd probably be North Carolina, but we'll see. I don't love any of those teams, really. I really don't. All right, so let's go to the South. I feel like you're about to get a little hot under the collar here. We got Houston, Longwood. Tell me, is Longwood in trouble?
Yes, they're in trouble. I love Houston. I know you're not a believer.
So you were asleep this Saturday? What were you thinking when you were watching that game?
I think though sometimes getting a butt whooping before March doesn't hurt. So I think Iowa State, the right now the stock for Iowa State, everyone depends on Iowa State in the Elite Eight right now at the least.
Not us.
and you know what? I'm like, I don't know. Who saw Iowa State before Sunday or Saturday, whatever day it was? Nobody. Houston, 30-4. They took one off the chin, but you know what I mean? That's going to make them stronger. That's bad news for Longwood. Longwood wanted them to thump Iowa State.
Here's my thing. So I'll be the first to admit, I don't think conference tourneys mean much of anything unless you're a team that's fighting for your life to try and get yourself in the tournament. But at the same time, dude, that was a fucking shellacking. I mean, they got destroyed. I mean, obviously, I don't have Houston losing to Longwood, but we'll get back to Houston as we get further into this bracket here. But I do not love Houston. I will be the first to say it. I don't think the conference tourneys mean much, but you can't lose like that a week before the shit starts.
Lancer's money line? Is that what I'm hearing?
No. But I will not be having Houston going too far personally. But we'll see. We'll get into that. Nebraska A&M.
8-9. It's a coin flip.
Yeah.
I saw a stat that 9 seeds are 13-7 over the last 5 years. I think Texas A&M's a bigger name than Nebraska. I saw Nebraska play a couple games in the Big Ten.
They could
score. They didn't look bad.
They could make some shots.
I didn't see Texas A&M play at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I'm still just like, you know what? I like the color maroon better than that little baby red. I'm going with the Aggies.
All right, I'm putting Nebraska there. I don't like A&M that much. I think Nebraska can just outscore them. I think it'll just be one of those games where they could just make some shots, put some pressure on them. But I mean, either way, we have probably whoever wins that's getting beat by Houston in the next round anyway. So
yeah, we can just pencil Houston in already in the Sweet 16.
Yeah. All right. So Wisconsin, James Madison. So I've been seeing a lot of everybody's on James Madison, dude. Like everybody thinks it's the cute upset. Give me Wisconsin here, large. I mean, come on, what are we doing?
Large.
Oh, come
large.
On. Yeah, they're gonna.
Woo.
Yeah.
Large.
Get out of town. Come on, bro.
We might differ here. I like JMU. I like the Dukes. No. They're actually starting to turn into a powerhouse. It sounds like. You know what I mean? College football, they look great. Wisconsin, I think it could be a bad matchup for Wisconsin. So I think we might disagree on this one. Vegas also kind of agrees, and the other people, I think the spread is, what did I see?
5.5.
5.5. So it's the lowest 12-5 matchup of any of them. And then you know what 12-5 is happening, right? So that's the lowest 12-5. Well, it's tied with Grand Canyon versus St. Mary's. They're both at 5.5.
James Madison, 56th offense, 79th defense. Wisconsin is 13th offense, 47th defense. They got too many seniors, bro. They're not losing this game. I don't care. I'm betting Wisconsin.
I don't know, man. I can see Barstool, Big Cat in a field position. Wisconsin down 10 late.
Nah, you know it. Everybody's saying James Madison. I'm not. Cute upsets never work. It's always the ones you don't see.
I'm just saying you can set a reminder for whatever time this game's at, and you just look at Barstool, Big Cat's account and just being like, I don't have any Wi-Fi. What's happening in the game?
I'm in a plane and they cut off my my credit card.
Yeah, what happened? Oh yeah. The Dukies the James Madison Dukes just dropped the people's elbow on Wisconsin.
I think. I mean, come on, Wisconsin Duke matchup. That's NCAA tournament written all over it, though. Come on, that
is actually that would be a good matchup.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
But it could be James Madison versus Vermont.
The Catamounts. Have you seen much of the Catamounts this year? Have you seen a play? Have you seen a game?
I absolutely just love the name Catamounts, and it's funny that it comes up to this week. Like I was just talking, with my wife, and I was just screaming Catamounts in our apartment a couple years ago, and they made it in. And I mean, do I think Duke loses to the Catamounts? No. But is it possible? Absolutely.
Well, anything's possible, but yeah, I mean, I just don't see.
Filipowski tripping players mid-game probably. Might get ejected for tripping the ref. Filipowski. You can't trust that other guy. Him, Grayson Allen, all those people.
Yeah, there's the Duke.
If you're from Duke, you trip people. You're going to trip the wrong guy.
Yeah, the Duke reputation through the years has deteriorated. You could definitely say that. Sort of like
it's crazy. It's literally they go to like tripping academy. Yeah, I bet Christian Laettner was probably tripping everybody.
They have like a level 3 economics. They got like level 3 tripping classes over at Duke University. Like how to do it, but like almost kind of get away with it in case unless the camera's like zoomed in on you, like it was in the Filipowski situation where you can't get away with that one.
But, what happened? He's like, oh, dude, I had a leg spasm. No, tripping with excuses, they call it.
Yeah, it had a cramp. It just so happened to go up, and somebody was trying to go over me during a fast break. It happens sometimes. All right, so we got Duke over the Catamounts, much to the Catamounts' despair. And I don't think you're going to be screaming Catamounts too long this weekend to your wife in your apartment. All right, so Texas Tech, NC State. I mean, give me NC State here large. I mean, I know we were talking. Yeah. DJ Burns. Come on, bro. What are we doing?
All right.
Are you kidding me?
I'm cool riding with that. I mean, I'm in Raleigh. I mean, I'm cool riding with the NC State Wolfpack. I mean, what a run. Last team to win 5 in 5 days was Kemba Walker. And we know what happened to them. They went on to win the tourney. I'm not saying NC State's going to win the tourney, but they could beat Texas Tech. But Texas Tech, albeit they don't have the same coaches they had. I brought this up last episode. They don't lose in the first round. They're going to the Sweet 16, whether we like it or not. If we're going to pick NC State because we're going to be making wolf sounds all day, I'm for it. But Texas Tech, I mean, they're laying 5.5 for a reason versus a team that just beat UNC, just beat Duke, and then obviously they beat Little Virginia too in the mix. But I mean, to lay 5.5 after beating two of those teams, Vegas still knows. Hey, I'm thinking Tech's going to win this one.
To me, like NCAA, they love characters, man, and that dude's a character. They want that guy in there, dude, for another round. So that's why I was surprised Indiana State didn't make it, because you see your boy Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the 7'1" kid with the goggles. Yeah, I mean,
I wanted Rex Specs in there too. He looked like March.
Yeah, my only thing is, like, dude, if you're wearing goggles in college basketball and you have any semblance of talent whatsoever, you got to be in the tournament. It's just the way it's a rule. I mean, you have the guys with the goggles who are like, the awkward 7'3" Lithuanian who can't even walk in a straight line and chew gum at the same time. They don't belong in the tournament. That guy can play though. He's got goggles and he's got skill. Come on, what are we doing?
I'm fine with right now. We just take out Boise State in the playing game, replace them with Indiana State, and just call it a day.
I don't think anybody would be upset.
No one would even know.
Nobody
would be like,
would...
oh, Indiana State's in the playing game? No one's going to be like,
Yeah.
no one's going to be missing the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean,
State.
that's criminal to me, though. You gotta have goggles in the tournament. All right, so Kentucky, Oakland. I mean, Kentucky by 39. Yeah, I love Kentucky.
All right, Kentucky large.
Love Kentucky this year. Boise, Colorado. You see that poor injury for the Florida? That sucks, man. Their center just leg snapped.
I still like Florida to win that round of 64 matchup. Yeah. Even without that guy, they look pretty good in the SEC championship game. But
that's
I think
a shame, though,
man. When they play,
dude, a game
Western
before
Kentucky, that could be a tough matchup with Western Kentucky.
Okay, all right, here we go. That's a shame, though, man. A game before the tournament starts, your leg snaps in half. Bro, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. That's got to be, my God, that's tough. But I'm not even listening to your Western Kentucky argument here because I don't even want to hear it. Come on, bro, are you serious? What are we doing?
Hilltoppers, man. They climb hills. That's what they do.
They covered
Josh
for you.
Smart,
they covered.
He's not a coach in DCU anymore. You can't get those dudes to slap the floor. We don't know if Tyler, College's going to be playing or healthy or not. We don't know.
Western Kentucky covers 4 overs for you in a row 6 years ago, and now you're betting them in college basketball in 2020.
I have to, dude. I'm loyal.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. All right. Houston over Nebraska. Come on. What are we doing? Wisconsin, Duke. I think if that game happens, that's going to be a hell of a game. What do you think? What would you? Which way would you lean there?
I'd go Duke because I like JMU. So I can't pick Wisconsin after I took JMU. You know what I mean? How can I sit here and be like, oh, I think Wisconsin's going to beat Duke?
I'm going Wisconsin.
I don't think they're going to the Dukes. It's going to be the Dukes versus the Dukies. So there's no Wisconsin to pick from.
I'm going Wisconsin. So that's how.
All right.
I mean, visually, we're showing Wisconsin over Duke here. It sounds like you are not in agreement with that, which is fine. This does not mean
I'm in agreement. But
we'll see how it goes. I hope that matchup happens. It'll be a great game. NC State, Kentucky. DJ Burns run out of gas there. 7'1", 280 pounds. He wins one game. He doesn't win two. Kentucky's going to blow the doors off of him. Florida Marquette.
NC State's not fast enough.
This is the thing with me. Marquette with me, dude. Like, is Kolek 100%? Because if this guy's 100%, I could see this team. I could see this team in the Final Four. But did you hear what they said about his pain levels of what the oblique injury felt like? Did you hear what they said?
No.
He told the coach. He said it felt like somebody stabbing me. This was weeks ago when he got hurt. But that's not something I want to hear. First game back from injury. Hopefully Western Kentucky just lays down for them and they can kind of get him back in the rhythm. But I'm going to go Marquette over Florida just because of the injury. And we'll see how that goes. All right, so Houston, Wisconsin. Now, is this where you would have JMU versus Houston? Is that what you're saying for your bracket?
No, I'd probably have Duke in there, but I wouldn't have had, regardless, I wouldn't have Wisconsin.
Okay, so I'd
have Houston in the Elite Eight anyway, personally. So it doesn't matter who.
All right, so let's go Houston.
I think Houston defensively is just the best defensive team in the country. And I think defense wins in March, and that's why Houston's been successful, even with similar teams. I know you said they lost Sasser and a couple other guys, but
Jarris Walker. Yeah.
I mean, they have a lot of the same game plan.
To me, this is a normal year. I got Houston penciled in as a 4 seed. That's how I feel about Houston.
But, man, they're 30-4 in the Big Ten.
I don't give a shit. I don't. Visually, I do not like what I see. They're not. If they win it all, I'm going to lose a lot of money. Just put it that way, because I don't think they stink, but I don't think they're good. I don't like it. All right, so we'll put Houston in there just as a compromise because you let me ride Wisconsin out, so we'll do that. I'm going to put Kentucky over Marquette just in case of Kolek, and I'll tell you right now, I have Kentucky over Houston. I have Kentucky in the Final Four. I know you don't agree with me. I know you have Houston, but Kentucky's offense is unlike anything I've ever seen before in college for quite some time. I know the defense is brutal, but I don't see a scenario where a team like Houston could score with them. They just can't. They don't make enough shots. All it is 4 guys standing in a box and one, and you got Jamal Shedd dribbling out 28 seconds, throws up a shot. It's either it goes in or it's a brick. They try to get the rebound. If they can put it back, it's a score for 2 points. If not, it's going the other way for a fast break. I hate the offense. I can't watch it. I can't root for it. Hate Houston. Kentucky in the Final Four. All right. Purdue, Grambling State, or what is that? Montana State? What is it? What's MT State? What is it?
Montana State and Grambling.
Okay. Yeah.
We got Purdue. Let's just get it out of the way. You know, I want to say
it's not happening again.
Grambling State, if
that happens, listen. If Purdue loses to a 16 again, Matt Painter should be skinned alive upside down outside of the arena. Literally, I'm not even exaggerating.
I don't co-sign that, but absolutely fired for sure.
Skinned alive verbally, of course. All right, so Utah State TCU. I saw an interview.
Aggies.
I saw a Utah State interview with the coach saying that guy had me ready to run through a wall. I'm taking Utah State there. I'm not impressed.
I like
with
the
TCU.
Aggies.
Yeah, TCU. They're a physical team, but I haven't loved them all year, and I'm gonna take Utah State. I like what the coach was saying today. He was getting fired up on CBS Sports. I started shadowboxing in the living room. All right, so Gonzaga McNeese. I know it's another cute upset. I know you like Gonzaga. I'm putting Gonzaga through myself.
I like Gonzaga. Fun stat. Gonzaga is 14-0 in the round of 64 the last 14 years.
Is that 16-0?
14-0. Last 14 years.
Okay.
They haven't lost a game in the first round since whatever 15 years ago was.
Do you know what the lowest seed they've been was?
They've also won by 7 or more in 12 of 14. And you're thinking like, okay, they've been a 1 seed almost every year, right? No, they were actually the underdog 5 of those years.
Okay. Wow.
So they were the lower seed 5 of those years, like a 10 seed, a 8 seed, a 9 seed, stuff like that. So they weren't always a 1 seed, but the last 5 years they've pretty much been like a 1 through a 4.
No shit. All right, that's a good stat. Yeah, I did not know that. I was going to ask you exactly what was the highest seed they've been, but probably what you said 10, maybe around there.
I think they were the 11 versus 6. The 1 year was their highest one that I saw.
Okay, that's a 14.
But that was a while ago. That was like 2010 or some shit.
There's definitely substance to that. I like that. All right, cool. So we have Gonzaga over McNeese State. I think it's going to be another cute underdog pick. McNeese State. I know they have a couple good metrics, but I mean, look who they're playing against. I mean, these guys could be at the YMCA on Tuesday for the night for the older guys with the knee braces and shit. Come on, what are we doing? McNeese State over Gonzaga? It's not happening. This is crazy. So here, Kansas, Samford. We know what's his name's out.
McCullers?
No. What's the big idiot's name?
He's playing. He's playing. Dickinson?
Dickinson's playing? I thought he was out.
He practiced today. He practiced yesterday.
No shit.
Coach Self said he's good. They're not even worried about him right now.
Okay. Is McCullough out there?
He hasn't played in a little while, but then the other guy is pretty much out. Like he's their star point guard, McCullers.
Oh yeah, if he's out, yeah, they'll win one game and then they'll be done. So we'll put Kansas in.
He's been giving all these press conferences saying they're both going to be good to go, but supposedly the other guy can't even walk.
Yeah, I think he was worried about his draft stock or whatever. He was ready to quit 2 weeks ago, and he came back. He was supposed to be done, and then he came back, and then I guess he got hurt again or he re-aggravated the injury. But, I just think Kansas is just too much pedigree to lose to a team like Samford, but that's going to be a one and done for me with Kansas. A little preview.
Yeah, they've been 1-4 their last 5, and then they've gotten pulverized like a couple times. Like I know versus much better teams than Samford, right? But Samford's scoring, I think I saw. Do you have it up on KenPom? Like, what do they score per game? It's like a crazy number.
Samford, let me see.
They might be 4th in the country.
Offensively? No.
Yeah.
No, they're not even. They're not even in the top 20. Maybe in another. Maybe in an off.
I thought I saw one of those teams was scoring like.
Was it points per game? Maybe this doesn't factor in points per game. It's just like an adjusted offense ranking. So it could be like a points per game thing. But I'm trying to see where they are as far as overall here. Here you go, Samford. They are 69th offense, adjusted offense. I don't know about points per game, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if that even has that. But yeah, what do you think? You think they have a chance? Could they beat Kansas with Dickinson?
The spread, I think so. The spread is 7.5.
Yeah,
so like for 13 versus 4. And you're also factoring in that spread's also got to be counting Kansas's name. Like they're a blue blood.
Yeah.
They're a 1 or 2 seed every year.
Have you watched much of Kansas here? That kid on that team, his last name is Timberlake. I mean, how could you forget it? I think he's one of the worst players I've ever seen in my life. I cannot believe he's on a team like Kansas actually getting minutes. He's terrible, dude.
They're taking on water.
Have you seen that Timberlake kid? He literally just gets the ball and shoots from everywhere on the court. He shoots like 17%. It's like I cannot believe the kid shoots as much. He stinks. I don't even know how Bill Self is putting that dude on the court. That team. What do you think? Are we putting the Bulldogs through that, or are we having Kansas pull this one out?
I got Samford, 86, and I had 86 points per game, dude. 4th in the country. I know that's not adjusted offense or something, but 86 points, that means you're flying up and down the court. I know you're playing.
And that's not good for Dickinson. That's not good for Dickinson. State. You don't want that dude running up and down the court like that. He does not have a gas tank for that.
I don't know. I'm gonna pick Stanford in my
All right, that's
bracket.
fine.
I'm gonna
That's
take a
fine.
money line.
I hate Kansas, so I mean, I have Kansas. I don't care who they play next. They're losing, so I don't. It doesn't matter to me unless McCullough like is playing, then they have a chance, obviously, because he's pretty good. But all right, so we'll go down to South Carolina, Oregon. What do we think here?
I mean, it's a tough one. So I like Oregon. I just don't like that it's in Pittsburgh. So like, you know what I mean? Like of
Yeah,
all the teams that are traveling, like they almost have to travel one of the furthest outside of the two teams playing in Spokane, Auburn and Yale. Like I know distance shouldn't matter on a plane too much, but like Oregon going all the way to Pittsburgh just seems like a hefty way to travel. But they just won the Pac-12. They're Scott Drew. No, they're not Scott Drew. That's Baylor. But Oregon, they're usually pretty good in March. And I don't know that much about South Carolina other than it being a women's basketball school.
All right, honestly, man, that's a tough game for me. What does the spread look like on that one? What do they got going on right now?
I think Oregon's -1.
All right, I'm going Oregon there. I'm going Oregon. I don't the travel spot doesn't mean that much to me because they what do they play Saturday? They got
South Carolina's -1.
All right, I'm taking Oregon there. They got 5 days to get. I mean, for their next game, they might get a little lagged out, but I'm taking Oregon that game. I haven't really watched much South Carolina, but Oregon just had a big game. Hopefully, they wasn't their emotional Super Bowl, but we'll see how that goes. Creighton over Akron. I think Creighton's big 3.5 guys there will be enough to get that done. Creighton scares me though because they don't have much depth, but I feel like they have one of the better starting lineups in the whole tourney here, so I'm taking Creighton there. Texas versus UVA or Colorado State. I'm taking whoever Texas plays because I think Texas stinks. Yeah, I don't even care who it is. I mean, I know Virginia. I mean, like they might score 44 points, but Texas might score 36. So I mean, I'm not. Texas stinks. Tennessee over St. Peter's. Peacock's dreams are dead.
They don't got any 22 magic in them?
They will not be doing that again. And if they do, the NCAA tournament needs to reconsider a few things because, I mean, they might just be the best, most magical team to ever exist. Purdue, Utah State. Purdue, easy chalking for me.
No. Hold up there. That's where we're going. That's where we're mixing it up.
Let's not get nuts here. Let's not
Aggies, they're going to go. They're going to take them down, dude.
Nah, you're out of your mind. I'm on Purdue to make the Sweet 16. What is the line, like -300 or something? Look that up for me real quick, FanDuel, and we'll get back to it.
I think it was -3. I thought it was -390 when I looked.
I think it was 330, but I don't care. I'm laying the chalk. They're making the Sweet 16. There's no way they can't not make the Sweet 16.
If you can't beat Grambling State and Utah State, I mean, what's the point of even playing?
I think that's free cash. You're not going to get that kind of return to the bank for interest. I think that's a nice bet to make there. I'll parlay with another team if you like them, but I think that's a free ride to the Sweet 16 there. Gonzaga versus Samford. I'm taking the Zags. How about you?
So we did go Samford, huh? We're just totally throwing Kansas.
I don't give a shit. I hate Kansas. I think they stink. I mean, unless McCullough's back, I mean that changes everything. I don't really know what's going on with that. I mean, unless you have more information, but from what you said, it sounds like he's not.
I don't know. I think I don't know if he can play in the round of 32, but he's down. This sounds like he's out for the first game. God, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because obviously the Gonzaga's got the bigger name, but. I mean, I think McNeese or Samford, one of them might trip them up. One of them might trip them up. Let's go Samford. We have to lose. If you're going to go Purdue all the way to the Final Four anyway, so what's the matter?
I know, but dude, like, what are we doing here? Come on. I'm trying to see real quick. I'm trying to figure out this Kansas news. I feel like this is important. I feel like this is something we should have known before this, but can you try to find me an update on that? I'm going to keep going on the bracket here a little bit.
I already looked. I was already been all over the board looking at it. Like I said, Dickinson's good. He's 100% playing. I think he's healthy. Nothing to worry about with the big man. But McCullers, he's looking south. I think he's doubtful for this upcoming game. He could play if they sneak past Samford. He could play, but I don't know. Is he going to be 100%? Is he going to be 25%? Like, is he going to play 10 minutes? I wouldn't expect him. I'm
going Gonzaga over Samford. I'm not putting the Bulldog.
All right. Fair enough.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to do, obviously, we'll get back to that, but Purdue is going to be over Gonzaga for me. Oregon, Creighton, I'm taking the Blue Jays. Tennessee, I love Tennessee. very upset because Tennessee and Purdue are two of my teams with the most future weight that I had. So it sucks, but at the same time, hopefully I have at least one team in the Final Four. I mean, I hope I should. All right, so up here, Purdue Gonzaga. I think that's a classic NCAA matchup there. I think they'll be happy with the ratings on that one. You get, the whole Midwest watch and you get the whole West Coast watch, and I think that's going to be a good matchup there if it happens. Give me Purdue over Gonzaga all day, which also another bet. Make the Elite Eight for the Purdue. I love it. So if you can get some money on that, I know you don't believe in it, but for the fans back home,
no. If there was the opposite bet, I'm taking it. Like if you're like, hey, Purdue not to make.
They'll get. I'll fucking back it for you if you want. What odds do you want? We'll talk about that separately. All right, so Creighton, Tennessee. I think Creighton's depth issues here are going to be what undoes them in that situation. I know it's a little chalky here, but these are two teams that I would pick to be the winners. So I can't knock them out before they get to the Final Four. So Purdue, Tennessee, chalky bracket there for me. And I am going, obviously, Purdue. So here we go. So in this situation, I know you don't 100% agree. Looks a little chalky here, but I think we did do a good amount of upsets. Auburn, if this happened, I'm not saying you agree with this for our bracket here, but if this did happen, this was the matchup. Auburn, Arizona. Which way would you go here?
Auburn, Arizona.
Yeah.
And I don't like that because I like UNC.
I understand. And you like UConn obviously too. But I'm just saying, in this situation, if this hypothetical matchup happened, where would you go?
I'd probably go Auburn. I think that they're
I like it. That's what I would
a little bit more physical. I haven't seen Arizona that much, but I feel like you're not getting tested in the Pac-12. And I think that does sometimes matter when you get deeper in the bracket. If early in the bracket, it doesn't usually matter. You're probably playing some teams that are similar to your conference, but you don't usually get those physical, tests on the road or something that you might get when you're in a conference like the SEC this year.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Arizona. I know I have them obviously going pretty far here. But that's because I hate that entire bracket. But Caleb Love's one of those players. To me, he's not a guy you're going to win with. You're just not going to win a crazy big game with him. He'll shoot you out of a game. He'll make a 90-foot three, and everybody goes crazy, and then he'll miss his next 8 horrible shots, and then all of a sudden you go from up 4 to down 7. You're like, what the hell happened? It's because Caleb Love can't stop shooting. He's got a little bit of the Westbrook DNA in him, which is not a good thing. I do not like Westbrook, and it's not for me. So Kentucky, Purdue. I know you obviously don't agree with either one of those, but if that did happen, what would you say here? I think if this matchup did happen,
Kentucky.
Yeah, for Purdue to chase those guys around.
I'm thinking Kentucky probably 21s them too. Madden, pass the sticks. I'm not high on Purdue.
I know you're not. I know. This is tough for you. I know. But yeah, for those Purdue guys to chase those athletes around of Kentucky, I think that'd be tough. I also do have a good amount of Kentucky futures, so this would be a great situation for me. And I do have Auburn covered as well. But Purdue, Kentucky, they would have no answer for Edey at all. They have nothing down there as far as defensively goes. But dude, those guys, man, that
they're scoring 85 a game.
Dude,
Purdue could run with them.
I think Kentucky's got 4. If I was drafting the NBA, I would 4 players that I'd pick in the top 12. I'm not even kidding. It's crazy. Reeves is a stud. Dillingham's a stud at point guard. Obviously, freaking the white kid's a stud. What are we doing here? It's an absolute. Reed Shepherd is he's coming off the bench. What are we doing? The kid. If I was literally, I would let that kid shoot 20 times a game. If I was a coach, I'd be like, listen, don't come off the court until you shoot 20 times a game. He's unreal, dude. Have you seen much of Reed Shepherd? That kid's unbelievable.
I have. I've seen him hit that one big buzzer beater early in the season.
Yeah, he's just trust me, dude. And he's good on defense too. It's crazy. He's a stud, man. But so if this is my bracket, I have Purdue winning it all. So I honestly hope they don't play Kentucky because Kentucky would scare the shit out of me as far as the matchup goes.
Purdue winning it all.
I have Purdue winning it all. That's all I got. I've seen online there's so much Purdue hate. I don't care. It's this is Virginia 5 years ago. They lost to the team with the kids who can't even dribble, and then they come back and then they win it all. This feels like a storybook ending for me, and Purdue would be a storybook winning for my ending for my bankroll as well, because I would do quite well if Purdue wins. All right, so let's ask Johnny Lloyd. So obviously this is my bracket we have here on screen. Who's your champion and who's your Final Four from what you have from your perspective?
Yeah, I like Houston to come out of the South.
Okay, so we'll go back up to the South.
In the Midwest, I got Creighton. I think they got some experience. Obviously, they don't have a ton of depth, but I think they got a great big three. I think if Trey Alexander, Kirk Brenner, like if they can stay healthy, I think that's a pretty favorable bracket. I think Tennessee could slip up versus anybody. I'm not a huge Tennessee or Purdue fan, so that's kind of where I'm basing it off of. With I think Creighton can make a deep run here. Gonzaga and Kansas are just down this year. Like those would be a 1 or 2 seed guaranteed any other year.
Yeah.
But they're not playing their best basketball right now.
And don't get me wrong,
from the Midwest.
I like Creighton too. Like before you get to the Midwest, I like Creighton too. I just like the other teams a little more. I mean, like the depth scares me, but I mean they're big three though. I mean the Shireman, Kalkbrenner, and Alexander, they're studs, man. They scare me from any perspective. But with Tennessee also scares me a little bit because it feels like if Connect has a bad game, I don't feel like they're going to beat a good team. But they do play good defense. They're physical and they're experienced. So we'll see how that goes. But okay, go over to your Midwest now.
Yeah. To the West, okay. I'm going to go chalk here as well. I'm going to take UNC.
Okay.
I don't think that bracket is super strong. I mean, like Alabama, you don't know what you're going to get from them. Baylor, Arizona, I just don't really trust any of those teams. I trust North Carolina the most. Okay. Obviously, losing to NC State doesn't help, but hopefully that'll kind of get them all pumped up. We keep rolling into March. And then from the East, this one was a little tougher than I thought it would be. Like I wanted to just go straight chalk with UConn, and I end up doing that. But I did try to weigh my options because like it's going to be hard to repeat. So in the coming out of it, I actually have UConn winning the East. So I got 3 1s and a 3 seed. And then I'm going to go with UConn versus Houston, and Houston cutting down the Nets for the first time ever, which I thought was pretty crazy. I thought that they had cut it down with Hakeem Olajuwon or somebody, but they must have. I know they lost to NC State that one year, but I'm going to go with Houston Cougars, your favorite team, to win it all.
All right, I'm going to get a little nuts here, and I'm going to go as far as saying that there's absolutely 0% chance that happens. I will delete this YouTube channel instantaneously if it's UConn versus Houston. It's not happening, period. It's just not happening. I don't even need to give you reasons. It's like there's no way it's going to be a repeat. And Houston's offense, there's no way. I'm telling you right now, there's just no way. When's the last time there's been a 1 versus 1 anyway in the championship? Does that happen frequently? Is there a stat on that?
I think it happens more than you would think.
Let's see.
If I can find the last time it's happened, let's see.
There's just no way that's happening.
Yeah, definitely.
Stats. Let's see. 1 seed versus 1 seed stats. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what you would search to.
I'll Google it right here. It should be easy.
I mean, a crazy stat is, though, a number 1 seed has won the tournament 63% of the time out of the last 38 national champions. So that's pretty crazy. That's more than I thought it was, honestly. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so the last time was 2017. It was Gonzaga, North Carolina. Then in 2015... 2008, 2007, 2005.
Yeah, I just don't.
A little while. I think it gets a little bit harder now when they do the first 4, because you're at least getting 4 more teams that have a chance at being okay, right? Like the 16 seeds, like they're not winning it all, right? So you can cancel them out, but like now that a couple 16s kind of cancel each other out. And you get in like every once in a while, like VCU made a run that one year and knocked Kansas out, right? And they were a playing game. Like sometimes the playing game teams come out fired up. I don't know if that could happen here. Maybe.
Nah, there's no one.
Maybe Colorado gets a little streaky because Virginia and Colorado State stink. And then I don't know anything about Boise State personally.
To me, I think this field's way too open. I don't think any team's dominant enough. And I don't think UConn or Houston are dominant enough to where like, it has to be 2 absolute, like, gargantuan, like, way, way, way overpowered teams, I think, for it to be, like, a 1 versus 1. I just don't see that situation happening. I don't think UConn. I don't like either of those teams. I really don't. I understand like the prices and stuff like that. I think it's like 3 plus 370, so 3.7 to 1 on UConn. I think that's ridiculous. And I think Houston just doesn't have enough offense. Period. But hey, I respect your opinion, man. I mean, you watch basketball just like I do.
There's no value.
There's no value. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's just no value. I don't like it. And I also saw like there was another stat where like I think it was like 88% or something like that of winners were all 20-1 or under for the last like 20 years. So that I think UConn last year they were over 20-1 when it went off, right? I think they were pretty high. It was like 20. It was around that.
They had to be because it was a 4 seed.
Yeah, it was up there. So that might have been one of the teams. So we'll see, man. All right, well, that's our bracket breakdown. Lock Nation Sports will be coming back with you to you guys with another video of our picks. We're gonna break down why we like the teams that we like and why we like them. We're going to break that down for you guys. And then we also might do another episode of potential Cinderella sleeper teams to see if the shoe fits this year. 2024 NCAA March Madness. This is Lock Nation Sports signing out. We'll see you next time. Brett and Johnny Lloyd. Johnny Lloyd, any parting comments for us? Anything for us? Or you feel good?
Grambling State money line.
You're out of your mind. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.